the national anthem echoed out here in Fort Worth as we are about ready for baseball. The Colts will have Steve Renato, John DeZomba, and Ryan Hudson to face the righty Aaron Wilkerson. Wilkerson enters tonight's ball game with a 4-1 record, 3.46 ERA in 8 starts. He does have one complete game this year, and Wilkerson has held opponents to a 199 batting average. So impressive numbers for Wilkerson, 4 wins and a sub-4 ERA, one of the best earned run averages in the league at 3.46. Umpires tonight, Mike Pierce working behind the plate, and Bruce Siegel is in the field. Another beautiful night for baseball in Fort Worth, 96 degrees, but with the wind blowing from straightaway center field into home plate, it has cooled the weather down just slightly. It feels more like 93, and that is cool compared to the humidity that you can get used to out here in Fort Worth, or that you can expect in Fort Worth. The wind blowing at about 15 miles per hour from straightaway center field into home plate. Shadows covering about half of the infield, as well as all of the first and third base lines, and most of the right and left field lines. Out in the deep outfield and by second base and beyond that, the field is engulfed in sunlight. Regular 7:05 p.m. start time tonight, although the game is going to get underway at about 7:11. And we are at 7:10 p.m. right now, so a bit of a late start. Last night's game, scheduled start of 5:45, got started at 5:52, but the early start time made it so that the game ended right around 9 p.m. At 8:51 p.m. is when yesterday's game ended. Steve Renato stands in, and the first pitch home from Wilkerson is a fastball taken for strike one right down the middle. We are underway at 7:10 p.m. No score between the Colts and the Cats. Game 2 of a 4-game series. The 0-1 pitch fastball was sliced foul out of play up the first base line. Count quickly 0-2 for Steve Renato, the Colts leadoff man tonight. He and Jordan Marks have alternated as the leadoff hitters this year for Doc Edwards. 0-2 pitch, curveball taken up high, and the count goes to 1-2. Colts enter tonight's ball game 22-19, 4 games out of first. Cats in first place in the United League at 26-15. The 1-2 pitch, curveball swung on, driven high and deep into left field. Going back is Monger, but it's gone. A leadoff home run for Steve Renato. Well, the Colts have taken advantage of back-to-back breaking balls before. John DeZomba took advantage of back-to-back curveballs thrown to him at Alexandria, and Steve Renato does the same thing against Aaron Wilkerson to begin tonight's ball game. 1-0, the Colts lead the Fort Worth Cats. Nobody out and nobody on base in the top of the first inning. Steve Renato, a line shot over the left field wall beyond Cameron Monger. John DeZomba now the batter. First pitch home to the lefty and former Cat is taken for a strike. Fastball on the outer half of the plate. 0-1 count for DeZomba. DeZomba hitting .347, among the league leaders in batting average, and he takes another fastball for strike 2 down the middle, about knee high. That home run for Steve Renato is 5th of the year, and it gets him 24 RBIs. 0-2 pitch is a chopper past the mound, gloved near second base by the shortstop Ford, and he throws to first, but not in time, and it will be a weakly hit infield single for John DeZomba. Still nobody out for the Colts here in the top of the first inning. They lead 1-0, thanks to the 5th home run of the year by Steve Renato. He has the most home runs on the Colts now that Kyle Nichols has departed. in the American Association. From the stretch, fastball first pitch to Ryan Hudson is taken for a strike right down the middle. Count is 0-1. DeZomba at first base. He's being held on by David Bergen. 1-0. The Colts lead the Cats here at LaGrave Field. 0-1 pitch. Fastball taken up high by Hudson. Count evens up at 1-1. Hudson has been stellar since entering the starting lineup. In his last 8 games, he has homered twice, driven in 8 runs, and he has increased his average up to 375. Throw over to first by the righty Wilkerson, but back in sliding safely is DeZomba. Nobody out, 1-0. The Colts lead here in the top of the first inning. Fastball taken outside by Hudson for ball 2. 2-1 count on Hudson. Righty-righty matchup. Hudson against Wilkerson. Wilkerson working from the stretch, and he will look DeZomba back to first base. John DeZomba leads the Colts in steals. He now has 6 after a stolen base last night. DeZomba stumbles a bit, but the throw home by Wilkerson, fastball misses low, taken for ball 3, and the count now 3-1 for the DH and number 3 hitter Ryan Hudson. Fastball taken for a strike. Hudson can't believe it. He was about a third of the way up the first base line. He thought that was going to be a ball, but a delayed call by the home plate umpire, Mike Pierce. And now the count full on Hudson. Well, Doc Edwards stresses to all of his hitters, you better wait for the call from the umpire. Don't give him a reason to ring you up, because you're trying to show him up by jogging to first before a call is made. 3-2 pitch fastball is lifted foul out of play behind home plate. And the count remains full for Hudson. Ryan Hudson in his last 8 games hitting .409, 9 for 22. And those are the 8 games he has started. Payoff pitch home, fastball misses high and inside, and that time it is ball 4 for Ryan Hudson. 2 on, nobody out. 1 run already across for the Colts. They lead 1-0 in the top of the first inning here at LaGrave Field. Colts scored a run in the first inning yesterday, but then gave up 8 unanswered runs and lost 8-1. Cleanup hitter Dan Evans stands in, 6'2", 220 pounds. First pitch home from the stretch, fastball taken high and in for ball 1. Colts wearing their traditional road gray jerseys with the gray pants, maroon trim with the maroon lettering San Angelo on the front and maroon numbers on the back. The 1-0 pitch home from the stretch, fastball taken up high once again, this time about letter high to Evans. Count is 2-0. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors for the Colts, and the Fort Worth Cats have yet to bat. We are still in the top of the first inning at LaGrave Field. Wilkerson laboring through his first inning. Fastball swung on and missed by Evans. That fastball right down the middle, but Evans was unable to catch up. 2-1 count for the cleanup hitter. Kyle Nichols had been the everyday cleanup hitter for the Colts before getting traded, but now Doc Edwards relying on Dan Evans to fill that role, and Evans certainly a guy who can. Dan Evans, a big power hitter. He has 4 home runs and 16 RBIs this year, hitting .205 on the season, but hitting .224 since coming to San Angelo after beginning the season with the Rio Grande Valley White Wings. pitch home from Wilkerson. Fastball swung on and missed. And now the count 2-2 for Evans. Runner at second is DeZomba. He hit an infield single. Brian Hudson on at first after he drew a full count walk. Caps defense playing back, playing a double play depth with nobody out and one run already across this inning. Swing and a miss on the 2-2 pitch. Evans strikes out swinging. First out of the ninth recorded by Aaron Wilkerson. One out, two men on base for the number 5 hitter, left fielder Braden Embry. Embry, a left-hander, to face the righty Wilkerson. Steve Renato led off this inning with a solo home run over the left field wall. He saw back-to-back breaking balls and took advantage of the second one. First pitch home to Embry, fastball taken for a strike on the outer half of the plate. Count is 0-1. Mike Pierce, the home plate umpire, Bruce Siegel, is working in the field. Full new umpiring crew tonight. 0-1 pitch. Curveball taken well outside, opposite side batter's box that time, and the count runs even at 1-1. Caps wearing their traditional home white jerseys with the Dodger blue trim, blue lettering caps on the front of the jersey, and red numbers on the front and the back. 1-1 pitch, fastball taken for a strike down the middle, and Embry now behind in the count, 1-2. Braden Embry hitting .221 this year in 40 games. He has missed just one game this year. Embry with 3 home runs and 14 runs batted in. The 1-2 pitch home, fastball taken outside, and the count now even at 2-2. Embry from Riesel, Texas. He is not far from home when he plays here in Fort Worth. Fastball broken back, bouncing ball to the second baseman. Miller gloves it next to the bag, steps on second, and throws to first in time for an inning-ending double play. Ryan Hudson is retired at second. Embry out at first on the 4-3 double play. The Colts do score 1 run on the leadoff home run by Steve Renato, his 5th bomb of the year. The run on 2 hits, no errors in the inning, and after the twin killing, just 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the first. It is 1-0 Colts, and you're listening